My beloved child, when was the last time your heart felt light? Not only acceptable, not merely controlling, light. You might have to go back a long way to find that period of time, when there was nothing heavy inside your chest. There was a time when laughter might rise without having to overcome a burden, a moment when quietness was just that, quiet, rather than a place where the silence was filled with ancient anguish. It was no coincidence that it was so light. You weren't naively happy because you hadn't yet realized how difficult life could be. Something inside of you had not yet sustained the kind of damage that has subsequently occurred, which is why there was lightness. Something that has since been broken was still entire. Something that has since learned to close was still open. I'm not telling you this to make you feel sorry for what you've lost. I want to return you to that lightness, which is why I am telling you this. Not by making the past disappear. Not by acting as though the years that have passed since then had not left their imprints, but by repairing the damage caused by those years. Everything that weighs heavily on your heart right now. Every time a recollection comes to me, I flinch. Every barrier you erected to protect yourself from further harm. Every silent pain that exists beneath your day-to-day activities. It's like a faint hum that you've been so used to that you nearly forget it existed. It's all the remnants of wounds that never completely healed. I've come to heal them too. Not with a formula, not with a program, not with guidelines for more effective pain management, but with something much older and much more delicate than any of those. Reaching into the precise spot where the wound still exists with my love, the spot that still surprises you when a word goes wrong or a calm moment gets too quiet. Something that was never intended to be born alone has been with you, and the degree of dignity with which you have handled it. The fact that you have persisted in carrying out your duties and showing up for the people who needed you. The fact that you persevered in the face of an internal weight that would have stopped a less resilient person in their tracks. Before we say anything further, we should acknowledge that endurance. Just by carrying on, you have accomplished something amazing. And I haven't missed the continuation. However, healing is not the same as continuing. And I don't only hope that you will carry the burden of what you carry with you forever. I'm hoping you'll lay it down, not all at once, because this is not how it operates. However, when love is present, compassionate and unhurried, true healing occurs piece by piece, layer by layer, in a slow and reliable manner. Not skipping over the things that require attention in order to get to the next. I take all the time needed for this. I'm here to support you in this. Your heart needs to be healed. I am aware that I have known it for a longer period of time than you have. Human hearts can sustain wounds before the bearer is able to comprehend what has happened. Injuries that alter a person's internal environment before they have the maturity or words to identify the difficulties they are facing. Some of the things you carry started long before you were old enough to defend yourself against them. In the same way that a disease spreads from one body to another, it came to you in the shape of someone else's failure, harshness, indifference, or their own unhealed wounds. It wasn't because you were weak or lacking anything. Rather, it was just because you were in close enough proximity to be impacted, and the person who was supposed to protect you either couldn't or didn't. There is more to your wounds than that. Some of what you carry came about as a result of decisions made by older, more experienced individuals. Betrayals that originated in relationships where trust had been developed over time, making the betrayal all the more heartbreaking. Systems that were meant to operate fairly but failed to do so gave you some of what you carry. A portion of it originated from the common griefs of life, from disappointment and loss, and from the discrepancy between expectations and reality. The specific pain of unfulfilled desire and unfulfilled expectations. And all of it has left a scar on your inner self, no matter how it happened, whether there was an obvious culprit or just a series of traumatic events. The origin narrative is irrelevant to the wound. It's just an area of tenderness inside of you that hasn't been healed yet. I am the broken heart's doctor. I don't use that metaphor lightly. It perfectly captures everything I do, have always done, and am doing at this precise moment. As your heart begins to open even slightly to the notion that healing is genuine, accessible, and intended just for you. I am well aware of the complexity of every wound you bear. It has shaped and developed you, and it interacts with everything else you carry. I'm not going to use a generic remedy to help you heal. I am approaching you with the accuracy of someone who has examined your individual wound, who is aware of its unique depth and type of suffering, and who is aware of what it requires to truly heal rather than just be treated. Allowing healing instead of just administration requires a certain type of bravery. At the very least, the controlled wound is predictable. Its outlines are familiar to you. You are aware of what sets it off, what calms it, and how to arrange your life to reduce its disruption. In a strange sense, the controlled wound has become familiar, even comforting, in the same way that long-standing constraints become comfortable because you are at least aware of what you are dealing with. There is doubt associated with the notion of true healing, of the wound truly altering, and of the interior landscape truly changing. Without the wound that has influenced so much of your worldview, who would you be? Who are you going to be? How are you going to relate? These are legitimate questions, and it makes sense that they would cause hesitation. However, after the mending process is more complete, you won't be a stranger. It is the version of yourself that has always been present beneath the protective measures needed to heal the damage. The true you, the one who existed before the layers of self-defense, the acquired smallness, and the cautious handling, is still there. It is not the production of something new. Rather, it has been waiting in the call to healing. It is the discovery of something that has always existed and is just waiting to be returned to you. That individual is reliable. I've known and loved that person since before the wounds appeared. And reuniting with that person during the healing process will seem more like returning home than like changing into a new person. I'll tell you what I noticed right away, long before you realized what was going on with you, long before you could express the pain that was growing within you. I had my sights on you. Not as an impartial bystander with nothing at risk, observing from a comfortable distance. Not as someone who saw and felt powerless, saw and decided not to step in, or saw and calculated that your suffering was appropriate collateral in a bigger deal. My love was so intense that it hurt to be around you. The same is true when a parent witnesses their child's grief and is unable to completely alleviate it, but they choose to stay near and cling on to what cannot be taken away while whispering into the agony that it is not the end. I can clearly recall every second of your wound, each one's unique texture, weight, and the precise manner it changed your perception of who you are and what love is like. What are its limitations and what may be anticipated from it? I recall the exact instant it occurred. I recall your thoughts at the time, the uncertainty that accompanied comprehension of what you had just gone through. Your entire internal universe has to be reoriented to make room for this unwanted new reality. I recall how you dealt with the agony throughout the next few hours and days, what you told yourself to keep going, how you assimilated it, and where you stored it. I don't find any of it unclear. I simply have a general understanding of it. None of it is old history. I can see every aspect of your pain as if it were happening right now, because love prevents significant things from becoming abstract. Love maintains accurate and careful records. And because of the way your suffering is etched on my heart, every healing touch I give you is based on a thorough understanding of what you endured, not only limited knowledge, not the information of a person who heard about it indirectly, the complete, unrestricted knowledge of the person who witnessed it all. I was by your side the entire time. I didn't leave you in the wound. I was unable to. I'm not like that. I stayed when the person who ought to have stayed left. I protected you from the worst of it in ways you weren't always aware of, when the relationship that was meant to be safe turned out to be the source of danger, putting up with what I could to lessen the burden on you. Even yet, I am aware that your agony was not always lessened. I am aware that there were times when you questioned my whereabouts and if I had also disappeared. It makes sense to wonder. The agony was genuine. And this is the response to the question. I was present. I am present. I'll be here forever. Not as an assurance that nothing challenging will ever arise, but is the one who is present in the struggle in a way that nothing can break, not even the deepest cut. It is possible to heal betrayal. One of the most significant things I will say to you is this, and I want to convey it in a way that you can truly understand rather than just hear. Because it originates in a relationship. Betrayal is among the most perplexing human pains. To do its specific form of harm, it needs faith. Someone you never trusted cannot betray you. This implies that the betrayal you endured is, in a horrible paradox, a gauge of the amount you contributed. You gave this individual access to your emotions, trust, and vulnerability. That all speaks highly of you. It demonstrates your capacity for sincere transparency, true connection, and risk-taking love. Your love and trust were not the issue. The issue was that the person you trusted was unable to meet your needs at that precise moment. They are responsible for the failure. I want to make that extremely obvious. The betrayal does not prove that you have a weakness that makes you vulnerable to treachery. It is not an indication that you misinterpreted the circumstances to the point where you should never again rely on your own assessment of other individuals. It is proof of human limitations and human failure, which is something that every person in your life carries with them, since everyone is constantly evolving and has the potential to fall short of their ideal selves at any given time or during any given season. You are not defined by the betrayal. It describes a decision that someone else made at your expense due to their limitations. However, I am aware that feeling this and knowing it logically are two quite different things. Long before the heart does, the mind can acknowledge the veracity of what I just said. The healing process of the heart is slower than that of the mind and cannot be accelerated by comprehension alone. The first step in healing is understanding, but it's just the beginning. More than accurate facts is required for the heart to truly recover from betrayal. Over time, it must be well loved by a reliable person. It must come across a love that won't do what the betrayal did. A love that demonstrates that not everything that appears to be love will end in destruction via perseverance, constancy, and patience. I'm offering you that. A love that stays by the wound's side and tends to it day after day, season after season, with a consistency and patience that has never wavered and never will, rather than a hasty resolution that neatly closes the wound and moves on. The lengthy experience of being devotedly loved by me, of repeatedly bringing your wound to me, and discovering that I always accept it without passing judgment, showing impatience or implying that you ought to be over it by now. The healing is inherent in that event. It is the rebuilding of trust in someone whose love is the epitome of reliability, rather than in someone who might fail again. Once destroyed, trust doesn't just come back together on its own. I am aware of this. I'm not asking you to just make the decision to trust once more, as if that were the only thing to do. I'm requesting something more manageable and smaller than that. I want you to try to trust me with the actual wound, to bring the particular damage to me instead of defending it yourself, to show it all to me. Both the portions that are obviously not your fault and the ones you are ashamed of. How the injury affected your behavior and how it continues to have an impact on you. Bringing me the wound is the first step toward healing, but it is not the same as healing it. Additionally, you are not required to traverse this trail by yourself. Allow the things that have affected you to spread to those in need. Tell me what portion of this most resonated with you in the comment section below. Every time someone is honest about where they are in their healing process, this community gets stronger. Your words count. To ensure you don't miss the next message, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Type Amen in the comment if you believe God. Every one of them is thoughtfully created for a person at a certain stage of their journey. I appreciate you staying, and you are not here by coincidence.